So I don't know how exactly to start this video, aside from saying, just like the title says, that's how the year actually started out. It didn't start out very good at all. So I guess I'll go back a little bit further than that and explain why that happened and how I ended up losing $100,000 on software development. Also, be sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will show this video to a lot of other people and will get me more views, because that is the currency of YouTube. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. So a little over a year ago, I decided that I wanted to build some software. Now, I don't know a thing about building software, or I didn't then, and I wanted to build software specifically for Amazon sellers because I know the niche really well. I'm a seller myself. I know a lot of other sellers. I know kind of what they need in a software. So I wanted to build a software that helps people find products, helps them manage their inventory, see their profits, do their taxes, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know anything about coding. I didn't know how to code. I didn't know what you needed to even do to build a piece of software. But I did a lot of research on the internet, and my conclusion was I should hire an agency to build the web app that I wanted to make. So I went on Upwork and I interviewed like a dozen different agencies, a bunch of different owners. I interviewed some freelancers, and I ended up picking the one that I thought had the best shot at building it. And all of them told me it was going to take like 6 months, and it's going to cost this much. And that estimate was like, $30,000 or $40,000, which is significant. But I figured, developers aren't cheap. And that's very, very true. Developers are not cheap. So I picked the agency that I thought would be the best. And they got to work. I gave them, everything that I wanted to include in the software. I gave them, all of the features that I wanted to include. I even drew them like a little markup in Photoshop of what I wanted to look like. I did everything that I thought I needed to do to kind of get the ball rolling and get them developing the software in the way that I wanted them to. The problem lies in the fact that I truly don't know how to make software, or rather didn't know how to make software. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know what errors they might be making. I didn't know about managing a team of developers. I didn't know any of that. And so I just paid the developers paychecks, and I assumed that they were doing a good job. Now I know that you're probably laughing at me, as I like to laugh at myself as well, because I'm incredibly naive. So I probably deserve everything that I got because of me being just incredibly naive of, what exactly I need to do to develop software. After about 6 months, which is kind of the time frame they told me that I was going to take, they had a prototype, and they said it was a working prototype. It wasn't. It was very poor. It was not good. They kept asking me, hey, bring on some beta testers, and I'm like, it's not ready for beta testing. Like, it's pretty poor. I told them all the things that needed to be done before I wanted to actually send it to people and ask them to test it. And they're like, okay, this will take, maybe a couple weeks to knock out. A few months later, it wasn't done, and it still wasn't really usable. And so I ended up just saying, you know what, you're fired. But that was after I'd already spent $100,000 on developer salaries, because like I said, developers ain't cheap. So here I am at the beginning of last year, $100,000 in the hole, unusable software that I know nothing about. I couldn't even finish it if I wanted to. I don't know anything about coding. I don't know anything about software development. I don't know anything. This is kind of a throwback to my last video where I talk about how nobody really knows anything, even though they act like they do. I feel like most people at this point would probably be like, I'm done. Throw in the towel, try to recoup their losses somehow, and just be completely done with it. Well, I'm pretty stupid, so I decided to, try my hand at it. So over the next 3 months, I taught myself how to code, and it was very difficult to learn, but I eventually got it down, and then I spent another couple months writing some code and actually ended up making an app that is pretty much exactly what I wanted to make. And so it kind of had me scratching my head at the end of the day, because I had all these agencies telling me, oh, this is going to take 6 months to build, and it's going to cost all this money. And then I say, you know what, I'm going to try it myself. And I learned how to code, And then with just like a few months coding experience, I built a web app that was pretty much exactly what I wanted in just a few months. In reality, I was actually more angry after I was able to build it than before, whenever the developers failed to build it, because I knew that it was super possible to do in the time frame that they originally said, because I was a developer with a few months experience that was able to do it by himself without a team on my own. So I was actually incredibly frustrated at that point, but happy that I made a software that was actually usable. So I sent it out to a small group of people, asked them to beta test it, and they came on, they tested it, they said, hey, it works pretty good, add some of these features, maybe change this a little bit, and so I tweaked some stuff. And then me and my business partner, love you, Jake, if you're watching this, scaled it to about $20,000 MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. So it's not like 20K profit or anything, but it's recurring revenue that we're getting every month, and that pays all the salaries of all of our workers. So we've got like almost a dozen employees now that are, most of them are sourcing for products. And so what the company does, and if you want to look at it, it's called go-atlas.io, or just Atlas for short. And what we do is, we source products, we find products for people to sell on Amazon. We also have inventory management. We do a lot of stuff. You can go read about it if you want. That was a great triumph to me, because I kind of started at a very negative place and was able to, through the ashes of that, rise as a phoenix and create something out of essentially nothing. Like I said, I built the software from scratch with really no help at all. Now, I can't say I had no help, marketing the product and managing employees, because I do have a business partner who, again, if you're watching this, Jake, but it was very nice to be able to build a company, build a tool, build a software that's actually used by people, that people actually find useful, and that actually makes money. And like I said, we hired people to essentially run the whole company itself. So there's not much for me to work on in Atlas. So I was like, I want to start another software company. For the last few months of last year, I coded StackPages.io, which is my newest software company. We're actually currently in beta, so you can actually check that out if you want to. It's StackPages.io. And I built that from scratch as well by myself. And the purpose of this business is because I feel like a lot of people that are starting out, being entrepreneurs or selling their products online, or, trying to connect with people, don't have an easy way to make their own website. There's things like Wix, and there's Squarespace and stuff, but those don't really specialize in building lead pages or sales pages. And so for stuff like that, you have to go to like ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels is like $100 a month or something like. So it's a little expensive, and honestly, when you're starting out, you don't really need all that stuff. And so I wanted to create a low-cost solution to page building and hosting. And so I built StackPages, and StackPages allows you to create an entire sales funnel with drag and drop builder. And so you don't need to know how to code, you don't need to know how to do anything. It's built really for people starting out, or people getting started in the entrepreneurship field. And those are the people that I like helping, ergo this video. I make this video so that people starting out can watch it and hopefully learn from some of my mistakes. My biggest one being learn how to do something before you outsource it, to at least know how to manage it. That was my biggest mistake of last year. But I always like helping the newbies. I've always enjoyed helping people get out of tough spots or whatever. So that was kind of what I wanted to frame the software around. It's pretty exciting to launch. I'm not sure exactly how well it's going to do. Honestly, it's brand new. Like I said, I just launched it like last week. So I don't know what's going to happen with it. I hope it does well. I hope people like it. I hope it's useful. So really what I've been doing for the past year is building and scaling software companies. Now I'm going to ask a very specific question to you guys, and I hope you answer in the comment section below. I'm pretty interested in building software and scaling software companies and stuff like that. That's the kind of videos I'd like to make, but I just want to see if that would interest any of you. Like, would you like to see a series or, you know, several different videos on how to build a software company and how to, you know, scale it, how to get customers, things like that? Because that's stuff that I'm doing right now, so it'd be really fun and interesting to talk about. Let me know in the comments if that's interesting to you. If I don't hear anything in the comments, I'll probably just do it anyways, because it's my YouTube channel and I can make whatever videos I want. But I still like to make videos that, you know, people will actually be interested in, that will help people in the watch. So, you know, let me know. And if you want more info about, you know, how I built StackPages, how I built Atlas, you know, like how to actually get into some details about it, you know, just let me know. Like, DM me on Instagram or Snapchat. We can start a conversation. We can talk about it. I'm pretty easygoing, you know, just like chat with on social media or whatever. So hit me up. Either way, thanks so much for watching this video. It's good to be back on the tube, and see you in my next video.